Okay, everybody, what's up? Ricky Carruth here. Welcome back to another episode of Real Coaching in Real Time. This is episode number 18 since I've been doing this. Real Coaching in Real Time is literally where I bring three agents on from anywhere in the world, really, to come on and just chat it up with me for a good 10 to 15 minutes a piece, about anything they want to chat about, right? So if you want to come on the show, just hit me up on Instagram, shoot me a DM, say, hey, Rick, I want to come on the show, and I'll bring you on. So it's I love it because, and I called it Real Coaching in Real Time because it's real. It's real. It's spur of the moment. I don't know what I'm going to get asked. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. And that's why I love it, because I love to get different perspectives. I love to get different questions thrown at me. And I love that it's live because there's nothing to hide from. It's like, it's real. That's why I call it real coaching in real time. Let's get it. So before I bring the three agents out that I wanted to bring on today, that wanted to come on the show, just wanted to share a couple things. I did a live Zoom call, just a public Zoom call yesterday. It went really well. Just kind of sharing, guys, I've been telling you, for a while now, for several months, that this so feels like 2003 all over again in so many different ways. And I believe that we're on the front end of one of the largest real estate booms we've ever seen. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see if old Rick is right. But on the flip side, a lot of other cool things in the news that I saw in the past couple of days. Something that just came across my desk just now before we actually went live was the fact that Zillow is set to hire 2,000 new employees remotely, remote employees this year in 2021. 2,000 more employees to handle, let's see, what was it, like software development, things of that nature. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, set to increase their employees' roles by 40%, hiring in tech, mortgage, and loans and software development positions, really high in tech, mortgage, and loans. So mortgage, right? Hear that word mortgage. Zillow is in the mortgage business. That's a nice leg of their business. So, I love it. I love to see this, right? I love to see this expansion, and let's see what happens with that. I thought that was really interesting. It caught my eye. Also, EXP, their earnings report. Wow. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. $31 million in profit in 2020, $31 million in net profit. Okay. You got Compass at 280 million net loss. Okay, 280 million net loss. You got REMAX at $11 million profit, net profit, $31 million profit. What? Okay, this is a beast. 82,000 transactions in the fourth quarter, up 113% year over year. What? Okay. Oh, Ricky, at some point somebody has to be selling real estate, right? Like, I know we did 82,000 transactions in the fourth quarter, which was up more than double from the quarter before that, completely blowing every company out of the map in terms of growth, net profit. It's just amazing. So a lot to report there. I thought that was very interesting to see where that's headed with so many doubters out there. Let me get back to where I can see all of our agents, and just keep in mind, guys, that this year is, to me, the year of the grind. This is probably going to be the hardest that we all have ever worked, and it's going to be one of the best years that we've ever had because of the work that we're putting in. So excited! I love the challenge of a year that's presenting this toughness. Tomorrow, I have a video coming out. It's going to be called three things that you need to do, okay, while inventory is low. Three things you need to do to really try to build your business and go to the next level while inventory is low. So I want everybody to watch that. I'm going to post that in the morning. Okay, so let's bring out our agents today, one at a time here, to introduce yourself. Let's start with Bobby.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. My name is Bobby Barrito. I'm a real estate agent here in South Florida, Miami more specific. I'm pretty sure that everybody's probably going through the same thing, trying to find the houses. but yeah, I'm super excited about what 2021 is going to bring. This is actually my first full year as an agent. Extremely excited. I already had some closings this year, a couple of properties under contract, and if you guys want to follow me, my IG is at Realtor Bobby. Um, I post a lot of not only obviously listings and closings that I have, but a lot of information regarding South Florida real estate. If you wanted to get to know the market a little bit more down here, just go straight to the questions.
No. Just introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce the rest of the guys, and then we'll come back to you. So, how long you been in the business? You say?
So I got my license back in 2019. I
Okay.
didn't do anything until probably March or April of last year.
Uh huh.
The beginning of the pandemic, I was petrified, but actually it was the busiest that I've been uh,
Yeah.
ever since I went on full time. And ever since there, it's been nonstop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is gonna be my first full year as a full-time agent.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing the benefits of spending even more time into the industry.
Cool, brother. Cool, brother. Well, I'm looking forward to chatting with you in just a sec.
Perfect.
Cool, man. Caleb, let's see if your internet's gonna work.
Yeah. See, you hear me pretty good?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell
All right,
everybody
cool.
who you are, bro, where you're at, how long you've been selling, what brokerage you're with, where they can follow you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name's Caleb Reitmer. I'm up here in Austin, Texas. So the market is, I mean, it's crazy. I know it's crazy everywhere else. I feel like here it's even crazier. And been selling for about a year and a half now. And everything was going good in 2019 when I started. It was a bang. Everything was selling, moving quick, easy to work with buyers. And then, 2020 hit the Corona, and actually was doing pretty good then as well until this year hit. And now I'm hitting a little stump, but I'm going to keep on working. And yeah, I mean, you can follow me at on Instagram, Caleb_Reitmer. It'll have a big old yellow background with my face on it. You won't miss it. And yeah, if you got anyone has any referrals or anything in Austin, Texas, shoot them my way. I'll shoot you a good referral fee. So yeah.
And how long did you say you've been in the business?
About a year and a half.
Got it, man. Got it, man. Cool. We'll look forward to chatting with you in just a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring out Khalid. You got to tell me how to say that.
Both ways. You
can go either way with it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How do you like it? Which way do you prefer?
Well, it depends on who I'm talking to be honest with you. So I say Khalid, but I'm in South Florida too, so a lot of people say Khalid. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way it goes, bro. Either way it goes. Cool. Well, tell everybody who you are, how long you've been selling, where you're at, all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm Khalid Al-Shabazz. I'm with Avanti Way Realty in South Florida. I've been licensed since forever, but I've been doing all kinds of other stuff like studying, and I was working. Then I started doing a bunch of rentals. I discovered your program a couple of weeks ago and just started doing that. Still lots of rentals, no sales yet though. So
Got it. Cool. I look forward to chatting with you in just a second, bro. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what questions you got. We got a handful of agents who aren't brand new, but haven't quite found their footing yet. Let's just say to speak. So that's good. Everybody smash the like button. If you're watching this, smash the like button for these three agents coming on here, kind of exposing themselves and putting themselves out there to ask me questions that might actually benefit you. The answers to their questions might actually benefit you. That's the whole purpose of this show. If you're watching this, somewhere on, a podcast or whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, shoot a comment, give me a 5-star review. Just do anything you could do to help me out here, and help me take all my channels to the next level. Cause I really, truly believe that, I'm doing some good in the world, and I want to continue that path. I want other people, agents, just the the world in general, just to hopefully, hear my story and everything I went through to get where I am, and the fact that I'm out here for no charge at all. No charge at all out here helping agents, spending time with agents for, I mean, guys, I'm spending so much time. I'll spend, 30 minutes to an hour with agents that are not on my team, are not, I have zero chance to make any kind of money whatsoever. And I'm out here trying to help them get their business in order. So, share some love back at me if you get a chance. Let's bring Bobby back out. Let's see what he's got to say. I want to hear all Bobby.
I actually took my time to write down the questions because I have a lot of them for you.
Okay. How many questions you got?
About 7 or 8.
7 or 8 questions. Okay. Just need to get my head right. All right.
So, first things first. What is Ricky doing different in this market to get your buyers under contract?
I'm making a fast offer as quick as I can, as high as I can, and then hoping for the best kind of deal. If I want to talk some strategy, then I can talk, well, I'll pay for the moving costs of the seller. I'll pay all the closing costs for the seller. We'll do this, we'll do that for the seller to try to sweeten it up. But guys, I get this question a lot, and at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to simple math for the seller. What offer is giving them the most money? Right? Everybody's trying to figure out how they can do something outside of price. You can't do anything outside of price, guys. If you want to win the offer, give them the highest price. That's what it is at the end of the day. If they're in a position where they've got 2 offers that are identical, but one person is going to pay the seller's closing costs, that's really not an identical offer. That is a higher price. That's really it's more money in the seller's pocket. Okay. So that's the end. The end of the story is put more money in the seller's pocket than anyone else. That's all you can do, right? The flip side of that, go get listings, right? Go get listings. Try to help your buyers, do everything you can, make the offer, try to consult them, try to make them understand we got to go high. And after they lose one, they're going to turn around and say, okay, now I understand that it's real. And on the second one, I'm going really high. That's normally the process. Sometimes they got to lose 1 or 2 deals to realize what they really need to do to actually get one under contract. But, and you do everything you can do to help the buyers in this market. But guys, we really want to be on the listing side because we want to be on the side where we're looking to decide which of the 15 deals we want to take, not hopefully being the 1 out of 15 that gets the deal. See what I mean?
Gotcha. And you mentioned the sellers. I know that I think you mentioned that you're not doing cold calls right now since you're getting a lot of referrals. But from your agents and the agents that you're coaching, how are they overcoming, when they are calling sellers, when they say, well, I want to sell, but I'm looking at this market and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to find something better than this for the right price.
Say, great. Let me take your information down and I'll call you back when the market changes. Yeah, that's a client for tomorrow, bro. See, that's what you have to understand is you have to start understanding about clients, what kind of client you're dealing with. Not every client is a situation where we have to figure out how to sell them today. We don't have to try to figure out, what do we tell that client that is saying, oh, there's nothing to buy. I don't know. What are you going to tell? There's nothing to buy. What do we tell them? You got to wait till there is something to buy. Okay, maybe you get lucky and lightning strikes and, something happens where boom, you find the perfect deal and it all works out. But that's always tough when you got to sell to buy. Because then now we found the deal, but then now we got to sell before we can buy the deal. And the seller on the deal doesn't want to sit there and wait on us to sell. So we're right back in this same weird boat, even when we find the deal. Okay. So one thing that might be of interest is to find some off-market properties where we aren't competing against 15 buyers. Get out there and beat the bushes for sellers. That's what we need to be doing, guys. We need to find off-market properties for our buyers so we're not competing with 15 other buyers. We need to be, listing properties so that we're the ones looking at 15 offers to decide which one we want to deal with.
Okay. Second question, what has been your biggest either blessing or challenge in the way you do business now with COVID?
Nothing really, man. Listen, the market is always going to be changing. Things are going to happen that's going to flip you upside down on your head. Always. There's always, if it's not the pandemic, then it's going to be the market. And if it's not the market, then it's going to be your clients. And if it's something's always going to be in play that's going to catch you off guard, turn your entire business upside down. Listen, I made $1 million and lost it and was sleeping in my car. Okay. Trust me that you're going to run into situations constantly that's going to make you have to adapt. It's going to make you better. And it's like all these circumstances that change our business aren't, circumstantial or, abnormal, right? This is normal. Like running into stuff like this is really kind of expected, right? This whole thing is really an expected thing. The market's been going up for 10 years. You think that, you got to be kind of sleeping on the job to think that, nothing's fixing to change in the market dramatically at some moment, you know what I mean? And that can happen at any time. So listen, when those times happen, you take a deep breath and say, yep, here it is. And you dig in. That's when you dig in, So as far as challenges with the pandemic and stuff, hey, we've all had to adjust. I went from, I work in my house now, right? I work out of my home and I love it. So that's one thing that's different since then. I've made that adjustment. I don't meet with clients as much, it's like we're meeting to look at properties and then we're signing everything electronically. I was already doing that, but there were a little bit higher percentage of people meeting me at my office for certain things, right? Non-existent. Like people aren't meeting me like we're not meeting to do anything. We're talking on the phone. We're virtually talking. We're signing electronically where everything's in the cloud. So what I wouldn't say is like a challenge by any means, more of just a pivot, to kind of go with the flow of where the world's going.
Overpriced sellers, do you take them or not?
100% every day, because who are you to say it's overpriced? Like, when did you all of a sudden become the god of real estate? When did you become the god of pricing properties? You know what I mean? What makes you so almighty that you say it's overpriced? I call BS, because I've priced things that were so ungodly overpriced you wouldn't even imagine, and I sell them in a week. It's crazy. Like and I'm not talking about in today's market where things are selling. I'm talking about, back in the day when things weren't selling like it is now. I would take things overpriced and just think this is never going to sell. But hey, it's a listing. A listing is literally giving yourself an opportunity to close a deal, right? Don't you want an opportunity to close a deal? Okay, that's what a listing is. So why would you turn it down because you think it's too high of a price? The buyer who buys the property thinks it's exactly what they're looking for. People have different opinions and different ideas and stuff, man. The neighbor might see that property and say, I've been waiting on that thing to come up. I'm going to do everything I can to try to figure something out on this thing, So yes, dude, you do take them and you do set expectations with your seller that, hey, this is way overpriced, but we will, if this is what you want, as long as you understand what the consequences are, that it may not be shown, nothing may not, we may not sell this. I'm all about giving it a shot. You never know, kind of deal. Once you have tried to negotiate them down and realize that they're not coming down, that they're dead set on that higher price, then you start having the expectation talk with them to try to still, gravitate them towards a listing.
Besides cold calling, what other ways have you done to as far as prospecting goes?
I think there is no other way, bro. There is no other way. Yeah, there is. There's online leads. There's Zillow. There's Realtor.com. There's all these online things. There's CRMs. There's Boomtown, Ricky. Boomtown. Boomtown gives you leads. The thing is all those internet leads, what do you do with them? You call them on the phone immediately as soon as you get them. So now what? We're right back to prospecting on the phone, which is what you just asked me. What else is there besides that, right? What else is there besides that? I'm talking about cold calls, Ricky. Me too. When you call that warm lead off Zillow, they don't know who you are. We're right back to cold calling, right? No, they raise their hand saying they're interested. Every human in your market is interested in doing something in the future. Next week, a month, 6 months, a year, 3 years. They're thinking about their next move in terms of real estate at all times. Okay. Humans are leads, not this contact information of humans that we buy from these online resources. Okay. Those are leads because they're humans. Right. But we're overpaying for contact information. So, you tell me, let's start with that. You tell me what else is there.
I was just thinking on the side of maybe like networking events.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let's go have a super spreader, right? Let's get out there and let's get that thing spread. Let's go ahead and get to what do you call it when everybody's had it? Let's get to herd immunity as quick as we can. Get out there and do them networking events, man. Let's get this virus over with. You feel me? Nah, man, I'm just kidding with you. Listen, with the networking events, what's the goal? The goal is to connect with people. Then what? For what reason? To collect their data, to get their business card, to get their phone number, to get their email, to then do what? Build personal brand with them. How? By continuing the communication with them from that point on, right? And so when we do these networking events, okay, networking events, open houses, door knocking, all the in-person stuff. To me, it all comes back to you still need to be on the phone from 9 to 12 every day, calling those people, checking on them, seeing what you can do to help them, developing the relationship, furthering the relationship. You know what I mean? Right back on the phone.
Perfect. So you said that you don't use any CRMs. You use your weekly email for kind of like a way to keep in touch with your clients. Now, once you have the deals under contract, how do you keep track of everything that's going on, the coaching, your other businesses, to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks?
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. It's organized chaos, right? It's organized chaos. And that's why I had to go on vacation last week, man. I finally said, you know what? I am, man. I'm coaching. I'm selling. I'm, making videos, doing podcasts, doing coaching calls, building the team. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm just going 90 miles of nothing. And that is where I want to be. That's why I built all this platform to get right here, right now. This is exactly the pace I want to be at right here, because this is what's going to take me to that billionaire club, right? I'll go ahead and say it, billionaire club. That's where I'm going to be. And so, as far as keeping up with it, I've got a great assistant that handles the real estate back end. She really helps me keep organized with the pending deals and everything. And I look at it every day. I look at my list of pending deals and I run through all the different properties and I run through my head what's going on each deal and decide if there's somebody I need to contact or something I need to do to make sure that deal is moving the way it needs to be based on whatever. And so that's how I kind of handle my real estate stuff. I spend a good 5-10 hours a week on my real estate business, somewhere around that number. And so that's what portion of time goes into that. On the coaching stuff and everything else, I've got this legal pad, of course, that I kind of organize my day every morning, right? And then I've got my schedule book, my notebook here where, every page is a full week where I've got my entire week planned out. So it's organized chaos. It is a lot. And, I just use my list, my legal pad, to not let anything fall through the cracks. And hey, You know, at the end of the day, when 5 or 6 rolls around and my daughter's staring at me through this window and it's time to be dad, I have to be okay and find peace with what I did get done that day, right? And that's what a lot of people have problem with. They can't find peace with what they actually got done that day because they wanted to do more, or they think they can do more, or they're not farther enough along in the process. And if they only realized how far along in the process they are, if they in fact did stay busy that day and were productive all day long, regardless of the results. That's why I don't want to get too tied to the results in the short term. I want to be tied to those long-term results, right? I want to see that 5-year, 20 million a year, million subscriber day where you can take a step back and say, look at all the people we helped, right? Look at all the people we helped.
Last question. We have you. Who do you have? Or do you have anybody? Or do you look up to anybody?
Yeah. My dad's a great influence, I watch the influencers that are ahead of me in the game. And I take a little bit from all of them. But I take it with a grain of salt because for me, really, what's so funny? You said you guys got me, and who do I have, right?
Yes.
That's what you asked. What's so funny about that question, bro, is that y'all got me, and the thing is I got y'all, right? Because like I learned through you guys, because you guys are coming up in the game at a time where I came up in the game with 0 social media, 0 Zillow, 0 this, 0 that. I mean, I didn't have a dialer. I didn't have any of this stuff, man. And like, I'm like living my life as a new agent, over and over and over again through you guys and learning so much. I'm learning so much about the industry and about the technology and about all these different things. And so really, man, I chalk it up to learning through experiences, trial and errors on my end. Right. And at the end of the day, man, it's all about the slight edge. It's all about the little things that I do every day that add up to be massive over time. And I'm just so invested and I'm so committed to that 5-year outcome. You know what I mean? But it's so funny because the 5-year outcome, it's always the 5-year outcome, because right now it's 2025, right? I'm looking at 2025 and I'm thinking, here I come. But next year, or 2026, right? 2021, 2026. And next year I'll be looking at 2027. The next year I'll be looking at 2028. I never get there. You know what I mean? But one day I'll wake up and I'll have such an influence and I'll be so set financially that I could literally take a step back and breathe for a second and really appreciate, what this is all about. And at that point, right now I feel like I just have a great foundation in place to really do something special if I do it the right way from here on out. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to take it day by day, not get ahead of myself, stay humble, and keep working hard.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Bro, listen, guys, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to top that guy. Damn. Golly. That was some serious stuff, man. That was some serious stuff. I almost got to take a second right there, man. You guys really... There's this hypnotist. I met him in Tampa and Clearwater, no, St. Pete. Crazy guy, incredible guy, Tyler. And he was asking me stuff about my childhood, man. And like, this dude is a real hypnotist, man. I'm serious. He was asking me stuff about my childhood and he was bringing back all these memories that I had forgotten, like deep, deep, deep. And it's like, oh, like it was crazy. It was insane. That's kind of, you kind of went there, but nowhere near what that guy did. But it was like, you guys bring out something in me. That's why I like this show. All right, let's bring Caleb back out.
All right. Some good questions. Have to cross some of mine out now. I'll start simple. So this past week I started popping up on people's phones as the number spam. And I got a few comments on it. It wasn't a big deal. Actually had a good conversation over it because I ended up talking to another property manager who makes a lot of calls, and it happens to her as well. But I was just seeing if does that happen to other people you hear, and like how do you handle that? You just truck through it and keep on going, or
yeah, it happens. No, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. So what you have to do is there's a couple of things, right? So you can get a Google number and just use that instead of your phone number, right? You know, so that you can put that in the dialer, and you can kind of use that for and if that gets marked, whatever. But here's something that a lot of people are trying, okay? And I've heard nothing but great success out of this. But you can actually register your number. Okay, you can register your number, and these companies will actually verify your number, right? And it will prevent it from getting flagged as spam. So there's one called calltransparency.com. Okay, calltransparency.com. There's another one called CallRail, CallRail.com. And there's also another one. And so I would go on all those sites and I would register my number. They call you, they make sure you're a real person, it's legit. It's legit. And so, a lot of people on my team are using that, and I haven't heard anybody say that I did it and then my number still showed up as spam. So I think that could be our answer. I'm still waiting, I'm still looking at data and trying to, hear how, if it really, but so far so good. It's literally been like 2 or 3 months since a lot of agents I know have tried that, and I haven't heard any negative, comeback on it. So you definitely might want to do that.
Yeah, that's actually, I wrote that down. Yeah, it was funny because I got a guy who texted me last night at like 9:30, and he was like, "Hey, can we have a chat? You called about selling our house." And then I called him in the morning. He's like, "I actually don't want to sell my house." He goes, "But my wife said your number popped up as spam, but then she listened to your voicemail and she had me listen to it, and she's like, I think this is a real guy." And he's like, "So I was just trying to call you and see if you're a real person." But yeah, so that should actually really help. Second one, easy question. I know you've answered it, and I've seen your calls, but a guy in my office wanted me to ask you this. So if you're calling and it's not, you don't know if you're calling John and it just picks up and it says you've reached whatever, and you don't know if it's John, and you're leaving the voicemail, how does that voicemail go?
If what now? I didn't know. If you don't know,
if you're calling, yeah, and you
like
don't know if it's the person or not, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so like you don't know if it's like a wrong number, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like a lot of times whenever I'm doing that, like I'm gonna still say the name like it is the right person, because I don't know that it's not the right person, right? So that's one thing, but you can always just leave that out and just say, "Hey, this is Ricky Carruth, over at EXP Realty down here in Gulf Shores. I was calling about the whatever. Give me a ring when you get a chance, whatever." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you can always just leave that part out and just kind of go into who you are and everything.
Okay, yeah. And then some other ones. So can you tell me a little bit about the process on cold call? Someone answers, great conversation, you get the email, and then that process, say they're ready to go in 4 months, right? They say, "Hey, yeah, in a couple months I am looking to sell. I'd love for you to stay in touch." Everything goes perfect. You get the email. What's the follow-up process look like, and what's it look like from that cold call to the closed deal?
So the first thing I want to do is during the first call, right? I want to talk to them about that 4-month time frame, right? I want to say, "Cool, what's going on in 4 months?" Right?
Yeah.
I want to know why you want to sell in 4 months. What's the 4-month thing about? What's going on them? Okay. I want to dig more into why they're selling. Okay. Because I believe that a lot of times people will tell you that, hey, call me back. We might sell in 6 months, or we're thinking about doing it in 6 months, or we're going to sell in 6 months, but they have zero interest in selling in 6 months. They're just trying to get you off the phone. And I'm not saying let's dig so that we can call them out and say, oh, well, no, I honestly, I'm very curious. Like, I'm just curious of why what's going on then, because until I know why they're selling, there's no way that I can put a game plan in place of how I'm supposed to follow up. Right. I can't tell you, how to follow up with someone that wants to sell in 4 months because I don't know why they're selling in 4 months. See what I mean? There's not like a cookie cutter system where
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes sense.
there's not like a cookie cutter system where, here's how you follow up with every lead. It's just not. There's just not. If you want to be a professional, okay, if you want to be a professional, then we have to operate like a professional. We have to dig into the situation and see what's going on, what the problem is, and how we can help. Okay, so we got to dig deeper in that conversation and find out what's going on so that we can then put a plan in place of how we're going to follow up and what we're going to do next and when we're going to do what we're going to do. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that brings me to the second one. So if you do get an answer and they're going to sell because their son's going to graduate high school and they're ready to get out of the house, then what are some of the follow-up things that you do, or do you do it at all, or let them reach out, or do you have a plan or action in place to some of that stuff to follow up on that?
Well, again, man, listen to what I'm saying. At that point, okay, your daughter is graduating in 4 months. Awesome. Congratulations on that. I'll be there, I'll be there to see her, walk across that stage. So when you guys, at that point, are you guys going to be downsizing because of this, or, because of the graduation, exactly what is the move here? I still, like, I'm still digging to try to figure this thing out, because, if the daughter's graduating in 4 months, because my next question is, okay, do you want to start looking for houses after she graduates and start the process, whereas it takes us a couple weeks or even a couple months to find the house and then close on it 30 days after, whereas 3, 4, 5, 6 months after she graduates, is that when you want to move? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, so you want to start the process in 4 months, or do you want to be in the house in 4 months when she graduates, or you want to move in the next day? You know what I mean? That's a huge question, because that tells us that if they want to move into the house the day after graduation, then we need to start looking at houses pretty soon, right? We need to start really trying to figure out where we're moving to now, right? But if they want to start looking, if they just want to relax and then start looking after the graduation, and move in 4 to 6 months after graduation, that tells us what we need to know in terms of how we're going to follow up and what the process is. You know what I mean? So you have to you got to dig in to see what's going on. And then based on that, then you custom build a follow-up. That's what I'm telling you. You keep asking me, how do you follow up? What's the process? It depends on what they want to do. Once I know what they want to do, then I'm going to tell them how I'm going to follow up. If that's the case, if we want to move in the day after graduation, then I need to start sending you properties, and we need to start looking at properties like next week. So I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to email you a list. I want you to look at them. I'll call you tomorrow. How's that sound? Oh, it sounds good. Cool. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
that makes sense.
I mean, I hate to keep kind of going around, beating around the bush with you. I'm not really beating around the bush. I hate I'm not answering you directly, but there's just no direct answer because it's so it's situational.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So with your team and everyone and getting feedback, have you seen anything as far as like a good time or number of calls when you start seeing like the listings and the results from the cold calls, as far as doing it consistently every week, month?
I have a guy, I have an agent. I have an agent who has made 3,800 calls total, and he's closed like 12 deals. He has like 13 pending and like 14 listings or something like that. It's insane. I got another agent who didn't get his first listing for 14,000 calls. 14,000 calls. He got his first listing, and then he sold like 6 or 7 properties. He has like 8 under contract right now. It was only 9 or 10 months in the business. So is the other guy. The other guy is only like less than that. He's only like 7 or 8 months in the business. So you got a guy that closed like 7 deals after 3,800 calls, and another guy who got his first listing after 14,000 calls. So again, my brother, I cannot answer you. I have no idea. There's people that come in and get their first listing in their first call session. They'll get a listing appointment, they'll get the listing, and boom, first 100 calls, they got a listing. So, and you got people that go 14,000 calls with nothing except for emails. That guy got 300 emails in that 14,000 call process, and he's building his business, and that dude's going to be a beast. So hey, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. You just grind it out until it happens. But you got to think of yourself as a data collector first and a real estate agent second. Okay. We need to be out there collecting data. That's where your little wins are that you need to celebrate.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Second to last question. What marketing other than email are you using, or is it just strictly that weekly email? And then putting people in it?
Just a weekly email for my real estate business. Of course, now I'm just past clients and referrals from the weekly email that's been going out since 2007 every Wednesday. However, look at what I'm doing in my coaching business, right? I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars on social media ads. Okay. I'm posting on every platform. I'm answering every DM. I'm spending countless hours. I'm on YouTube live right now, and I'm going to post this on iTunes later. So look at what I'm doing I would be doing all the stuff I'm doing with my coaching business for my real estate business if I would have started in this era, right? So I think we should be making calls 9 to 12 every day, and we should be doing digital marketing all afternoon, right? Making videos, posting on social, answering comments, answering DMs, following people, commenting under people's posts, coming up with ideas, working on our website, working on our SEO, doing our weekly email, digital marketing, okay? Digital marketing, creating ads, figuring out how to do this and do that, hacking the system, trying to get the word out digitally to everyone in our market, who we are, what we do, and we're here to help, right? So we do that all morning, voice to voice, and all evening through the digital world, right? So you want to be in both worlds. Whenever you're in both worlds and you're splitting time in both of those worlds, that's when you find yourself a very dangerous agent, right? Short and long term. Where I find a lot of struggling agents are ones who solely do social, right? They're solely on the digital side. They get leads, but they don't call them. They don't do voice to voice. They don't do that side of it, and you just can't succeed. You're just not going to succeed.
Gotcha. All right. Last question. Ricky, do you have anyone looking to move to Austin, Texas?
I've got like 5 people on my team there, so if I did, I would definitely keep it. I would definitely keep it in-house, bro. In-house.
If I join your team, are you sending them to me?
100%. All day, every day. All day, every day.
There you go. Thank you.
Cool, man. Good chatting with you, bro. That was a nice little convo, man. That was some good questions, man. This is a good show today. I appreciate you guys coming on here. Give Caleb and Bobby a like button. Give them a like button. Like, bing, just hand them a like button, man. Smash that thing for them. They're really bringing the heat today. And last but not least, I can't wait for this. Khalid,
Hey.
Khalid.
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of my questions have been answered, most of them. But there is one thing that I've sort of been struggling with.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really emphasized when you first get into the business is that it's really important to have a farm area, right?
Mm.
And so I'm in the position now where I live in the suburbs, but this isn't where I want to sell real estate. But when I joined my brokerage, they were like, because this is the area that you're familiar with, this is the area that you need to focus on. Does it make sense to focus on the area that you're familiar with at first and get some experience and then move into areas that you're more interested in?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It doesn't matter either way. Okay. And here's why, because we have this thing called MLS. And when you look on there, it tells you everything about the area you're not familiar with. It's not like a mysterious thing to try to figure out, a subdivision and what has sold and what the history is and what's under contract and what's for sale. And it doesn't take very long at all to put all that info and data together in your mind and figure out the market, and the conversations you could have with possible clients in there. So
Mhm.
I'm okay with sticking where you are to try to get experience and then moving out to places you want to be that are more interesting to you. I'm also okay with you diving straight into the areas that interest you more and then coming back to the area you know more about later if you want to. Listen, here's at the end of the day, you win either way. Do you understand? It doesn't matter. Here's the answer. It doesn't matter. As long as you're taking action and adding 5 people to your database every day. As long as you're taking action and adding 5 people to your database every day, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't
Okay.
care what you're doing. Add 5 people to your database every day for 3, 4, 5 years, and you're the number one agent in your market all of a sudden, and everybody wants to ask you how you did it. And you're like, I didn't do much. I just added 5 people to my database every day and I did a weekly email. I crushed the phones all morning and do social media all evening, right? I just did what old Rick said down there in Alabama. And guess what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, one more question. Does your approach change depending on what kind of market you're calling? For example, the lower end, the middle end, and then luxury.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Because the fact is that my program is focused around connecting with people and adapting and adjusting your tone, your pitch, your body language. Even when you're on the phone, your body language counts. They can hear your shoulders are tense. They can hear that over the phone. The mentality behind having that gift of gab and making people feel comfortable with you. And, sure, you might have to make some adjustments per market or per clientele or so on and so forth. Um, but it's all the same stuff, man. People just want to know that you care about them and that you're here to help. You're not trying to scam them and that you're going to work hard. That's all they want. That's all they care about. I don't care what price range they are, what area they're in, what country they're from. They just want to know that you're there for them, not for yourself. And that's so hard to find. It's like to genuinely find somebody like that is it's what's so extremely difficult, these days. And when you can communicate that, when you figure out how you can communicate that effectively to your prospects, that's when that's when you start to really see your business increase because your database starts growing and everything starts to fall into place. So bring it all the way back to communication, right? And just relaxing and understanding I'm here to help people and just get out there and help people. Don't worry about price ranges, areas, locations. If you call a new price range or a new market or something and you're getting a weird response and you feel like there's a little block there and you're not quite getting through to them, listen, that's you, not them. You got to get through that block. You got to keep making those calls. You got to start trying to figure out, do we need to go faster? Do we need to go slower? Do we need to go softer? Do we need to go harder? What do we need to do, to get through to these people to kind of grab their attention and get them engaged with me to where I can really show them who I am? It was like when I made that cold call session out in San Diego, I think it was. San Francisco, I think it was. Made a call session down in San Francisco, I think. It was a while back, a couple years. And, the agent that hooked me up with the call session, he hooked me up with like a retirement home or something. It was all like people that were, you know, very elderly. And so it was like, they're not moving anytime soon. They're there to stay kind of deal, you know? So he really set me up on that. But if you watch that call session, right, I'm in Alabama, I'm calling people in California. And at the beginning, it was a little rough and rocky, but you can tell by the end of that hour, I was already adjusting my tone, my speed, and I was like, you give me another couple hours over there, you know, I'm going to be speaking that California language, you know, and it's the same thing if I moved over there and stepped up to you know, to some of these big boy properties, these 5 and 10 and 20 and $30 million houses. Listen, it wouldn't take me no time to figure out how to speak their language, you know, and get in with them. And because at the end of the day, they're the same way, man. They want to know that you're going to work hard. So,
Okay. And last question, going back to Zillow, how do you think that Zillow now offering to give people cash offers is going to affect the market and affect us as agents?
not at all, man, because those cash offers are low. Okay. And Zillow, I believe they're still losing money every time they buy a house. So I'm not sure. I think that might turn around because the market is exploding. But hey, what goes up must come down. So maybe they figure that part of their business out and they get to where it's profitable. Who knows? But it doesn't scare me unless people just want a really low ball cash offer, which is literally almost zero of the market, especially right now, you know? So, hey, listen, they've been doing that for, I don't know how many years now. How many years would you guys say they've been doing this iBuyer with the Zillow program? 2 years probably, huh?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think they've been doing it maybe 2 years now, something like that, man. It hasn't affected us as real estate agents whatsoever, you know? And, you know, you got other iBuyers out there, you know? I think Redfin has an iBuyer program. EXP has an iBuyer program. There's all these buy your house, you know, companies and stuff out there. This has been going on for a long time. It's just more mainstream now, you know, where they'll offer you cash for your house if it needs fixing up and stuff, or if you're in distress. So, nah, man, listen, you know, listen to me, man. Business is unlimited for every single agent. Closings are going to happen every day forever. You got nothing to worry about with any of this stuff. Listen, Zillow has done nothing but help agents, right? They've given us way more exposure to our listings. They've helped us in terms of the agents that, you know, I am not a fan of their lead sources, but hey, there's a lot of team leaders that spend a lot of money and give them to their team and they somehow make some money. Great. You know, I think that they have done a lot. You know, they've let us have profiles on their websites forever and have, you know, reviews, customer reviews where people can come and look and see what people are saying about you. Hey, you know, Zillow is you know is in my opinion, everybody's talking about how Zillow's bad and going to take over and going to monopolize, and I'm sitting back here saying they ain't doing nothing but help me. Ain't doing nothing but help me. So no, it's going to be real interesting, man. Listen, I love this part of this point in history of the market in the industry where we're watching all these juggernaut companies swirl around and buy each other, right? These companies are swirling around and buying each other. And it's so fun to watch, man. So it's fun to watch because a lot of them are publicly traded. You can watch their earnings. You can watch their, you know, their losses, their profits, their, you know, every little part of their businesses. It's so interesting to see where it's come up to this point and what the future looks like. And I'm telling you guys, it's super, super bright for real estate agents. So
Yeah, those are all my questions. Thank you so much
cool,
for your
man.
time and
Hey,
for sharing your experience and your wisdom with us.
nah, man. No, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate all three of you guys following me on Instagram and keeping up with me and, you know, reaching out, coming on the show, sharing some really great questions. All of you had really great questions. And I really, really appreciate you guys coming on. I'll give everybody, if you guys want to wave at everybody, I'll give you all another shot. Go ahead and come back on, guys, and tell everybody where they can follow you real quick. Khalid?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, but mostly Instagram as my name, Khalid Shabazz.
Cool. Caleb, where can they find you?
Yeah, just go on Instagram, Caleb_Reitmer, RIGHT, M as in mom, ER.
Cool. And Bobby?
Instagram at Realtor Bobby.
Cool. You guys connect with Bobby, Khalid, and Caleb on Instagram. Let them know how much you appreciated them. Follow their journey as they continue to push through the market along with all of us here and here at the Zero to Diamond Studios, right? All right, we'll see you guys later. Good to see everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, give me a 5-star review, and let me know what in the world that I can do for you. We'll talk to you guys Tuesday for another live cold calling session.